Hi, today we're going to do two labs that have to do with temperature. And temperature is an important term when we are studying chemistry because certain physical properties of different elements are determined by their freezing point or their boiling point or their melting point. So the first activity that we're going to be doing is trying to determine what effect salt has on the freezing of water. So you're going to have two cups. You're going to label one plain, one salt, your name and your group. You're going to add 100 milliliters of water to both cups. You know, depending on the size of the cup, you might change the amount of water that you put in. Just make sure that both cups have the same amount of water. That would be a constant in both cups. And then in the cup that's labeled salt, this would be your variable that you're testing. You'll add 1 tablespoon of salt. Today I'm using sea salt, but we could also do this with rock salt that you use outside, which is not edible, but would be useful in this experiment. You could stir that a little bit if you want. You're going to put this in the freezer for a few hours or overnight and record your observations tomorrow. Okay? Actually, before you put it in the freezer, you should record the temperature of the water in both cups. Write it down on your lab. Then stick it in the freezer. Observe it tomorrow. We'll observe it tomorrow in class and see how that changed. All right, the second part of our experiment is investigating a chemical change. You're going to be using steel wool. The steel wool that I have right now is actually an SOS pad, so that has soap on it, but you could also buy steel wool without soap. Your thermometer, sorry, I'm a little wavy, and a beaker or a cup with some white vinegar. Okay, so first thing you'll do is you're going to measure about 20 milliliters of vinegar into your beaker or your cup, record its temperature on your lab sheet, dry that off, and record the temperature of your steel wool, record that on your lab sheet. Then you'll get your steel wool and place that inside the beaker with the vinegar. The vinegar and the steel wool will create a chemical reaction that's called corrosion. The steel wool, it's steel, so it's a metal, is being corroded by the acid in the vinegar, which is a chemical reaction. So you kind of mix those two together, let it sit for a minute. It'd be nice to try to tent your cup by covering it with some foil. Wait about 30 seconds and take a third temperature reading. You should see that the temperature has increased, so you're going to record that increase in temperature. And this term here that we're studying, it's called an exothermic reaction. Exo means to exit, thermic means heat. Heat is being given off by this reaction. Okay, when you're finished, clean up your supplies for the next class and work on any of the study questions that are linked on this Google Classroom. Thanks.